Well, hello everyone. I have right here talking about whenever it comes to the President Joe Biden, showing up on TV. Whenever it comes to whenever he does make an announcement about with the elections, and of course if it's maybe the wars in Hamas or anything like that that's going on, but still that most of the time it sure seems that way that. Whenever you do think about that and you're warned toward it, that hey, I would like to make a few points about something that's going on here in America, and first of all, it's like by each time he shows up on TV, that it's almost like this toward hey you, I want you to stop what you're doing and listen to what I have to say here for a minute, and let you know about this what's going on with how I'm handling this situation and all that, and or something like that. But still that almost each time that I listen, and then whenever if you're going to be watching the president talking on TV a lot of times, and your 102 is toward it, do you think for the most part is that do you think on average is toward it he is telling the American people, hey you, it's like an hey you, America, I need you to stop what you're doing and read for what I had and listen to what I got to say right here. So it sure seems that way that almost any article that you get in the paper, by the way, do you think on average is toward do you think that most of these articles are going to maybe start out with by a word of saying is toward hey you, America, or something like that. Hey you, yeah you, I want you to listen, okay? I need you to get out and vote. I want you to read this article and please make a donation today or something like that. And so it sure seems that way that almost every time you see those messages, by the way, and your 102 is to where that it was actually over the television set is whenever you were watching your programming, and then you see this right here where it shows right here is that whenever the president comes on TV, and a lot of times it's like my point. Hey you, my point is we need to come together to get America, America economy, to get America working. And a lot of times it's like, so it's like we need to come together, right? And so it's like, my point is that I need to I need to come together. I need you to come together, or something like that. Like everybody might 102 that first of all, this letter could have been you could have been maybe been texting maybe your a boss or somebody that you were talking to, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm interrupting your meeting just because the president had to make a speech about something. And a lot of times you're always 102 is to where we interrupt your normal programming just because the president has a speech, talking about something. And that's something is maybe going to be is toward that America, I have a good point that I want to make, okay? That we need to make sure that and knowing about that I want you to stop what you're doing and read this article right here. I want you to read this article and knowing about that this is what's going to be going on in these next couple of days right here, within maybe the 2 weeks or so before the Christmas holiday or something like that. So it's like So each time you do think about that in your 102, that do you think that maybe the president is saying that, yeah, I want you to stop what you're doing. I want you to stop, reading that letter that you have. I'm like, yeah, you got right here the two sisters, and that the two sisters are going to be watching TV right here, and let's just say if they're going to be watching their favorite programming, and it says this toward, hey, that, yeah, the president's on TV right here, and, I'd like to make an important point about something, about if it's anything that he's talking about, really, but, still, that, almost all the time, that everybody might want to know too is toward it really that then why should you why do I need to postpone or delay my meeting, just listen to what the president had to say? And like everybody might say that most of the time whenever the president does come on TV, then he's going to maybe say it's just toward on average that he's on air for 15 minutes. 15 minutes he comes up on TV, 15 minutes to listen to what the principal had to say or something like that. Listen, okay? Hey, you, America. Hey, you, America. And so almost like it sure seems that way is toward it. Almost every time you see that on a television in your 102 is to where that he starts talking about all this stuff and your one is to where that is he really asking you to go to a certain website or whichever, like a go to I will show support or something like that, .org or something like that. I'm like, half the time you'll want to know too is to where that go to go to with no spaces right here. I will support and then it'll be like a slash something like that. I will support something like that is like there would be like maybe an abbreviation for like the AKI or I'm like AKU or something like that. I'm like so a lot of times it's maybe not even that. Like everybody might even say too that something like that, something about an organization or something like that. But please follow this link, and make a donation today or something like that. But still, it's like so. Almost every time you see these ads about what the president has to say right here, and half the time you always 102 is toward it. The president talks for about 15 minutes. Right here, but then maybe you would respond to that message and saying is to where that what does this have to do with me? So it's like it's almost like that each time he comes up on TV though that you would maybe say, what's this up to do with me? And you probably say is toward it, well, if you have gotten that infographic or however you want to pronounce it, that yours 102 is to where that whenever the president shows up on TV a lot of times, and it probably 102 is toward my point is. More support. So every time you do see these advertisements, by the way, and you're always 102 is to where that that's just how they have this news media nowadays is to where that the way it used to be like between the ballots and then maybe if it's not online paper or something like that, but like everybody might say is to where that what's in it for me about all that right there, but still. But most of the time that you would get maybe you would receive a text message stating as to where if you show support, that is great or something like that. But still, what's the point? What's the point? Why should I have to stop what I'm doing just to listen or something like that? And a lot of times it's like, so a lot of times it's like, whenever you do think about that, and you're 102 is toward it, what's the point? Well, the point is that, right here is that what I'm trying to describe here is knowing is toward it, if you would like to show support, and then if you were to understand and agree to the president's decision and all that about the things that he's talking about, and but still, it's like anybody might want to know too that really, why should you have to stop what you're doing just to listen to 15 minutes of the president talking? And then for him to be talking about is to where a website you can go to just for more information about this and that and all that. But still, that almost every time you do look at that, and you're 102, is that does the president really have a point about something? And whenever you do see him on TV, by the way, and that 102 is that the president is going to be coming on a channel, like everybody might say that, we interrupt your normal programming so that way because the president is going to be showing up on TV. And so like everybody might say that one Saturday morning or sometime like that you might turn the TV on and you're expecting your favorite TV show to be on, or maybe a few cartoons that there's about maybe a cartoon show that you want to see. And the president was like, let me make a few points about this or that. And so it's like, so each time the president does come on TV, and a lot of times you're always 102, is that, Mr. President, hey you, I'm trying to make a point about something, okay? About what, what I'm going to be planning on doing as far as handling this situation. And it's like, you're always thinking too, is to where that what he's asking you to do, of course, is to listen. But then on the other hand, would you please follow this link right here, or could you respond to where that you show a little bit of support for your party or so, or if you will be able to join us for this conference meeting or something like that. And that is why it seems that way to where that you want to ask the question to where that, Mr. President, do you have a point of what you're talking about? As a matter of fact, that the point is that I'm trying to get everything all under control, and then knowing about what's going on with over there overseas and all, but still that on the other hand too, that every time you do look at that and think about that, and your 102 is toward every time the president shows up on TV, then that pretty much means it could be around lunchtime, it could also be around dinner time, but it seems like it's toward it. Hey you America, and hey you America. Hey you all, or something like that. Hey you all, America. Hey you all, America. Hey you all, America. My point is, I am working on it. I am working on this. And, so it's like, I am working on this, but, I would like more, I would like more support. I would like more support. So it's like, hey, you all, America, my point is that, I need some more support, from the Democrats, I mean, from the Republicans, and so you're always 102 is toward, okay, yeah, that's really what the president is trying to say, but a lot of times he always 102. Mr. President, why didn't you just say more support from the American people rather than talking about all this other stuff that you gotta do? And you're on TV for about maybe 15 or 20 minutes or something like that. But still, I know, like everybody say, if you got a job to do and all that, but still, that on the other hand, that you're thinking is toward, okay, yeah, get straight to the point whenever it comes to talking about something and working out the details. But still, it's like everybody might even say too that every time the president comes up on TV, though, it sure seems that way is toward, okay, yeah, that does that really necessarily mean that you gotta stop what you're doing and listen to what the president has to say, or they'll probably say is this toward, yeah, well, for right now, that I would like for you to go ahead and pause what you're doing, but then still, won't take up too much of your time, whichever, but still, it's like, each time you think about that and you're 102 is to where, yeah, well, sometimes if you're able to follow up about what the president, had to say about this and had to say about that, but still. On your hand, too, that in case if anybody's 102, that how do you really even know if a lot of these commercials and advertisements are speaking directly to you? And a lot of times it sure seems that way, that the first thing that you do think about, right, is that how do you even know if a lot of these advertisements are speaking directly to you? And you probably say is toward, well, a lot of times, whenever you do see, the directions about is as toward it, that, yeah, if you have access to these devices right here, if you can hear, if you can hear, you see and hear the directions. If you can see and hear the directions, and for sure that about how often is going you get a response. So everybody might want to know too that that almost every time you do think about that, by the way, and you're always 102 is toward it. How do you think that a lot of readers and persons you watching TV, how often do you think that it is toward that they're going to be talking about how they responded to a commercial or any sorts of advertisement? And a lot of times it's like, they're maybe going to respond as to where that, well, because, hey, because, anything else? And a lot of times, like everybody might even say too, that the type of stuff that you would normally get even on a greeting card, if you're going to be talking to anybody, really, talking to the president or anybody, and you want to know too, is toward that, you see and hear the directions and response, and it's like, hey, you, because, anything else? So it's like, yeah, so each time you do think about that, and you're warned to where you look at that, the stuff that you see on TV, and if the president does make a speech about something, and a lot of times it's like, how do you really respond to that? And a lot of times, like everybody else would even say too, that, yeah, I know how I would respond to that. Just by saying this, to where that, I take down notes, by the way, or like, whichever it is, and it's like, but like everybody might say that, yeah, if anything, you just talk about it, what the president had to say on TV, and like everybody might say is to where, unless if you get a catalog or a newsletter in the mail or something like that, and more likely, the chances are, you're just going to say is this to where, yep, he was on there for about 15 minutes, he was on the TV for about 15 minutes or so, and think as to where that, a matter of fact, that I was watching TV, and then it's like, 102 is to where, yeah, until I read about it in the papers. That's how really about how I was able to correspond about that. But, anyway, by the way, I think, yeah, papers, catalogs, whichever. But on the other hand, too, I really think in a lot of ways, everybody, that your smartphone, by the way, is the best opportunity for any source of communication, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I really think in a lot of ways, based on my opinion, that anybody who owns a smartphone would probably say that that's really the best source of communication. People I say is like, yeah, smartphone users. Yeah, for smartphone users. Yeah, all you really need to do is just follow this link. Follow this. Follow the URL link that was sent and all that. So it's like, yeah, there's a code, and yeah, and there's a code that you would enter. So URL link code right there, a QR code. So yeah, anybody who has a smartphone, they'll probably even say too that. That's usually what you use right there, is following those instructions right there. Anybody who's a smartphone user, but still, compared to looking at these ads on the email and all that, text messaging or something like that. But still, that everybody might want to know too that TV ads and everything, like, and yeah, get straight to the point right here. But anyway, talk about it. So it's like, yeah, what exactly is the president necessarily asking for us to do? Well, if anything, just listen and just to hear about what he has to say about how he's handling it. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.